They sat me down in a circle to list my flaws for 2 hours. They had no idea I was recording or that I knew about the hotel receipts. Honey, let me tell you, I thought I had seen the peak of audacity. I thought I knew what nerve looked like. But what I walked into last Tuesday wasn't just nerve. It was a masterclass in delusion. You know those days where you're just trying to survive? I had just pulled a 10-hour shift at the firm. My feet were throbbing in heels that cost way too much to hurt this bad, and all I wanted was a glass of Pinot Grigio and silence. Just silence. I pulled into the driveway of the house I pay the mortgage on, expecting the usual. Maybe my husband, Travis, playing video games in the living room, maybe a sink full of dishes he promised to wash 3 days ago. The bar was on the floor, okay? But when I unlocked the front door, the vibe was off. You know that feeling? The air felt heavy, static. I walked into the living room and I literally stopped dead in my tracks. The furniture had been rearranged. My favorite armchair was pulled into the center of the room, facing the sofa and the love seat like I was about to audition for a play I didn't want to be in. And sitting there, the gallery, the coven, there was Travis looking solemn with his hands clasped between his knees like a naughty toddler. Next to him was his mother, Patricia, a woman who thinks mayonnaise is spicy and passive aggression is a love language. And flanking them were his two sisters, Becca and Courtney, the influencers. And I use that term loosely because having 800 followers and posting blurry photos of acai bowls does not an influencer make. They were all staring at me. Silence. I dropped my keys on the console table. The sound echoed like a gunshot. "What is this?" I asked, kicking off my heels. "Are we summoning a demon? Because I'm really not in the mood." Patricia stood up, smoothing down her beige cardigan. "Layla, please sit down. We need to have a serious conversation." "A conversation?" I looked at Travis. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Travis, why does your mother look like she's about to deliver a eulogy?" Travis finally looked up, and he had this practiced, sorrowful expression plastered on his face. "It's an intervention, Layla. We can't go on like this." I almost laughed. I truly almost laughed. An intervention? For what? My addiction to paying all the bills? "See?" Becca pointed a manicured finger at me. That right there, that attitude, that's exactly why we're here." Patricia gestured to the empty chair. "Sit, please. We are doing this out of love." I was too tired to fight, and honestly, my curiosity was piqued. I wanted to see exactly how delusional this circus was going to get. So I sat. I crossed my legs, folded my arms, and leaned back. "All right," I said, looking at each of them. "Entertain me. What's the crime?" And, oh, honey, they had a list. A literal handwritten list on a yellow legal pad that Patricia was holding. She cleared her throat. "Layla, we feel that you have become emotionally unavailable to Travis." I raised an eyebrow. Courtney jumped in. "You're always working. You're never home to cook dinner. Travis feels neglected. He says you make him feel small." Small? I looked at my husband, who was currently letting his mommy fight his battles. "Travis, you're 34 years old. If you feel small, maybe it's because you're sitting in a room while 3 women explain your feelings for you." "You're deflecting!" Becca snapped. "You don't support his dreams. You made him get that office job when you know his passion is music production." I let out a sharp exhale. His passion wasn't paying for the groceries, Becca, and neither are you. Patricia held up a hand. "Stop. This is about your hostility. You've become cold. You've stopped trying to look nice for him. You come home, you put on sweatpants, and you check out. A marriage requires effort, Layla. A wife needs to be a soft place to land." "A soft place to land," I repeated, the rage starting to simmer in my gut. "Patricia, I work 60 hours a week so that your son can drive a Tesla he didn't pay for. I'm not a landing strip. I'm the engine." Travis finally spoke up, his voice trembling with that fake vulnerability he loves to use to get out of trouble. "It's not about the money, Layla. It's about connection. I feel like you don't even see me anymore. I feel alone in this house. You're physically here, but you're not here." He looked at his sisters, and they nodded sympathetically, casting dirty looks my way. They were eating this up. This was their moment. The big bad wolf, Layla, was finally being held accountable. They went on for an hour. They critiqued my tone, my cleaning habits, or lack thereof, since I hired a maid, my lack of romance. Courtney even had the audacity to say, "Honestly, we don't know why he stays. You treat him like an accessory." I sat there, and I listened. I didn't interrupt again. I watched their faces. I watched Travis shrinking into the couch, playing the victim so perfectly. And as I watched, something clicked. You know that feeling when you're doing a puzzle and you finally see the full picture? I looked at Travis, really looked at him, and I realized something. He wasn't sad. He wasn't lonely. He was guilty. This wasn't an intervention. This was a preemptive strike. He was painting me as the villain so that when the truth came out, whatever it was, he could say, I had to do it. She was awful to me. I let them finish. I let Patricia deliver her closing statement about how I needed to step up or step aside. When silence finally fell over the room, the only sound was the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. I stood up slowly. I smoothed my skirt. I picked up my keys. Well, I said, my voice deadly calm, this has been incredibly illuminating. Thank you for the feedback. Travis looked confused. That's it? You're not going to say anything? I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Oh, I have plenty to say, but I think I'll save it for my next husband, because clearly I'm failing this one. The air left the room. What do you mean? Patricia asked, her voice shrill. I mean, I said, walking to the door, that you all have given me a lot to think about, and I think I need some space to process it. Away from this? You can't just leave, Becca yelled. We're trying to help you. You helped, I said, opening the door. You helped more than you know. I walked out, got in my car, and drove straight to the luxury hotel downtown, the one with the spa and the expensive room service. I checked into a suite, ordered a steak and a bottle of red, and sat down at the desk. If you're already shook by the audacity of these people, hit that like button, because honey, I haven't even gotten to the worst part yet. The investigation was just beginning. I didn't cry, I didn't throw things, I opened my laptop. My dad used to say, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, check its bank statements. I logged into our joint account. Travis thought he was slick because he handled the budgeting app, but he forgot that my name is on the primary account. I started scrolling. At first, it looked normal. Gas, groceries, Amazon, but then I saw it. The Sapphire Lounge, $140. Tuesday, the Sapphire Lounge, $180. Thursday, Bloom Florist, $85. I don't like the Sapphire Lounge. It's tacky, and I certainly didn't receive any flowers. I dug deeper. Credit card statements, Hotel Indigo, $210, September 12th, Hotel Indigo, $210, September 28th. Both dates were nights Travis told me he was having a LAN party with his boys. Unless they were LAN partying in a king suite with rose petals, he was lying. But here is where it gets spicy. I pulled up the phone bill. We share a family plan, me, Travis, and his mom. Yes, I pay for his mom's phone. Don't judge me. I was young and stupid. There was a number, a 512 area code. Texting him at 2 a.m., calling him on his lunch breaks, calling him immediately after I leave for work. I typed the number into Cash App. Nothing. I typed it into Venmo. Bingo. Vanessa Jenkins. My stomach dropped. Vanessa, his college ex-girlfriend. The one who got away. The one his mother loved. The one who broke up with him because he wasn't ambitious enough back then. I went to Instagram. Her profile was public. Of course it was. And there it was, a photo from 3 weeks ago, a picture of 2 cocktails at the Sapphire Lounge. The caption, reconnecting with old souls. 3, and in the comments, Patricia, so happy to see you smiling again, sweetie. Becca, love this for you. Courtney, couple goals, honestly. I felt the blood drain from my face. They knew the intervention, the accusations, the gaslighting. It wasn't just Travis. His entire family knew he was cheating on me with Vanessa, and they were actively cheering him on. The intervention was their way of justifying it. They wanted to convince themselves that I was the problem, so they didn't have to feel bad about helping him destroy me. I took screenshots of everything. The bank statements, the hotel bills, the phone logs, the Instagram comments. I printed them out. I saved them to a cloud drive. I saved them to a USB stick. Then I went to sleep. And let me tell you, I slept like a baby. The next morning, I called in sick to work. I wasn't sick, but I had business to attend to. I Googled divorce attorneys for high net worth individuals. I found a woman named Evelyn Sterling. Her review said she was a shark in a silk suit. Perfect. I walked into her office at 10 a.m. I laid the folder on her desk. I want a divorce, I said, and I want to scorch the earth. Evelyn flipped through the file. She paused at the Instagram screenshots of his mother cheering on the mistress. She looked up at me, took off her glasses, and smiled. It was a terrifying smile. "Oh, we are going to have fun with this," she said. Evelyn laid out the plan. We were in a no-fault state, meaning the cheating didn't legally matter for the divorce itself, but it mattered for the money. He had spent marital funds on the affair. That was dissipation of assets. We could claw that back. Plus, I had paid the down payment on the house with money from an inheritance before we got married, money that was kept in a separate account until the purchase. Evelyn said she could argue the house was 80% mine. "The strategy is silence," Evelyn told me. "Don't confront him. Don't tell him you know. Let him think the intervention worked. Let him think you're working on yourself. Meanwhile, we prepare the papers." I went back to the hotel. I texted Travis, "I need a few days alone to think about what everyone said. I'll be home Friday." He replied instantly, "Take your time, babe. I'm just glad you're listening. We all love you." I almost threw my phone across the room. For 3 days, I lived in that hotel. I watched movies, I drank wine, I got a massage, and I watched his family implode on social media. See, since I wasn't home to do everything, things were falling apart. Becca tweeted, "Why is it so hard to get good help these days? House is a mess." Patricia posted a passive-aggressive quote on Facebook. "A woman who abandons her home abandons her heart." I just liked the post and kept scrolling. Friday came. I checked out of the hotel. I drove to the house. When I walked in, Travis was sitting on the couch watching TV. He stood up looking hopeful. "Layla, you're back." He tried to hug me. I stepped aside. "I'm back," I said, "and I've done a lot of thinking." And? "And I think you're right," I lied smoothly. "We need to make some changes, big ones." He smiled, relieved. "I knew you'd understand. My mom and sisters are coming over for dinner tonight to welcome you back. A fresh start." A fresh start with the people who were helping him cheat. "Perfect," I said. "I have a surprise for everyone." The dinner was excruciating. Patricia brought a casserole that looked like vomit and tasted like judgment. Becca and Courtney sat there smirking, asking me if I had reflected on my behavior. "I really have," I said, pouring myself a glass of water. "I realized I've been carrying a lot of dead weight." "Exactly," Courtney chirped. "Emotional baggage is toxic." "So true," I said. "Make sure you're subscribed because the update I'm about to drop is going to make you scream." Monday morning, the plan went into action. I told Travis I had a meeting with a financial planner to restructure our future, and I wanted him and his advisors, his mom and sisters, to be there. He loved that. He thought I was going to give him access to my inheritance money. We met in the conference room of my financial planner's office. Except it wasn't a financial planner, it was Evelyn Sterling's office. Travis, Patricia, Becca, and Courtney all filed in looking smug. They sat on one side of the long mahogany table. I sat on the other, next to Evelyn. "Who is this?" Patricia asked, eyeing Evelyn's sharp suit. "This is Evelyn," I said. "She's helping me with the transition." "Transition?" Travis asked. "To what? A new investment portfolio?" Evelyn didn't speak. She just slid a thick packet across the table to Travis, then one to Patricia, then one to each sister. "What is this?" Becca asked, opening hers. "Those," I said, leaning forward, "are divorce papers, and a cease and desist for harassment, and a bill." Travis laughed nervously. "Divorce? Layla, stop joking. You just came home. We're fixing this." "Turn to page 4, Travis," Evelyn said. Her voice was ice cold. He flipped the page. Silence. It was a photocopy of the hotel receipt, followed by the text logs, followed by the Instagram screenshots. "I see you've been reconnecting with Vanessa," I said. "The Sapphire Lounge? Tacky choice, babe." Travis turned pale gray. You hacked my phone." "It's a joint account, genius," I said. "I pay for it." Patricia slammed her hand on the table. "This is an invasion of privacy. You are trying to frame him." "Patricia," I looked her dead in the eye. "Turn to page 10. She froze. Page 10 was the screenshot of her comment. "So happy to see you smiling again, sweetie," on the photo of the drinks. "You knew," I said. "You all knew. You staged an intervention to gaslight me into staying subservient while he was out spending my money on his ex-girlfriend." "We just want him to be happy," Becca yelled, throwing the papers down. "Vanessa understands him. She supports his art." "Great," I clapped my hands. Then Vanessa can support his lifestyle too. I looked at Travis. I'm cutting off the cards today. I'm selling the house. Since the down payment came from my inheritance, Evelyn here is going to make sure I get the majority of the equity. And since you used marital funds to fund your affair, half of that debt is yours now. Travis looked at his mother. Mom, tell her she can't do this. And this is the moment, the climax, the moment the rats started eating each other. Patricia looked at the breakdown of the finances Evelyn had included. She pointed at a line item. Wait, Patricia said, her voice shaking. The car payments, the Tesla, those are in Layla's name? Yep, I popped the P. And since I'm the primary leaseholder, I'm returning it tomorrow. Unless you want to take over the $900 a month payment, Travis? Travis looked down. I can't afford that. But you said, Courtney stared at her brother, you told us your music was taking off. You told us you paid the bills and she just used you for status. I laughed, a loud, genuine belly laugh. Status? He's an assistant manager at a copy shop, Courtney. I'm a senior director of marketing. I am the status. The sisters turned on him so fast it gave me whiplash. You lied to us? Becca shrieked. I told my followers you were a producer. I tagged your SoundCloud. You told us she was the mooch, Patricia yelled at Travis. I treated her like garbage because you said she was draining your savings. Oh, save it, Patricia, I interrupted. You treated me like garbage because you're a miserable woman. Don't blame him for your personality. Travis was hyperventilating. Layla, please, we can talk about this. Vanessa, she doesn't make enough money to cover rent. I can't move in with her. Not my problem. I stood up. You have 30 days to vacate the house. My lawyer will handle communication from here. If any of you contact me, show up at my job, or post about me online, we will sue you for defamation so fast your head will spin. I looked at the four of them one last time. The coven was broken. Travis was crying. Patricia was yelling at Travis. The sisters were on their phones, probably deleting their supportive comments on Vanessa's posts. I'll keep your feedback in mind for my next husband, I said. But honestly, I think I'm just going to enjoy being single and rich. I walked out of that conference room and I felt like I was floating. The fallout. The next month was a blur of logistics, but glorious ones. I moved into a sleek apartment downtown. No yard work, no extra bedrooms to clean. Travis tried to fight the asset division, but Evelyn crushed him. He ended up with his clothes, his gaming PC, and about $5,000 in debt from the credit cards I refused to pay off. The car went back, the house went on the market. Update 1. 2 weeks later, I got a DM from Vanessa, the mistress. It read, Hey girlie, I know things are crazy right now, but Travis is staying on my couch and he's totally broke. He said you froze his accounts. Can you unfreeze them just so he can buy groceries? It's really stressing me out. I didn't reply. I just screenshotted it, printed it, framed it, and put it on my new bookshelf. Hey girlie, the audacity. Apparently, the reality of producer Travis didn't match the fantasy. Without my income, Travis wasn't a tortured artist. He was just an unemployed guy eating her food and playing Call of Duty all day. Update 2, 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. I kept 75% of the house sale proceeds. Travis got enough to rent a studio apartment for maybe 3 months. But here is the tea on the family. Becca and Courtney are no longer speaking to Travis. Why? Because I stopped paying for the family phone plan. They all got disconnected. They had to get their own plans, and apparently that was the final straw. They realized their brother was a broke liar who had cost them their free ride. Patricia tried to send me a Christmas card. A card. It said, Family is forever. Forgiveness is divine. I returned to sender. Final update. The karma. Last week, I was at the grocery store. I looked amazing, by the way. New haircut, glowing skin, wearing a coat that cost more than Travis's car. I turned the corner into the frozen aisle, and there he was, Travis. He looked rough. He had gained weight. His clothes were wrinkled. He was holding a basket with ramen noodles and a frozen pizza. He saw me. He froze. Layla, he said. His voice sounded small. Travis, I nodded politely. You look great, he said. I feel great, I replied. He shuffled his feet. Vanessa and I broke up. She kicked me out, said I wasn't motivated enough. I almost choked on my laughter. She sounds just like you. I miss you, he blurted out. I miss the house. I miss us. My mom misses you. She says nobody makes potato salad like you. I bought that potato salad at the deli, Travis, I said, and I don't miss you at all. Can we just get coffee? He asked, desperate. Talk? I can change. I can do better. I looked at him, standing there with his sad little basket of ramen, and I remembered the intervention. I remembered the circle of chairs. I remembered them telling me I wasn't enough. No, Travis, I said, I took your advice. I stopped settling for less. And unfortunately for you, that means I stopped settling. So I walked away, my heels clicking on the tile floor, and I didn't look back once. So, Reddit, here's my question for you. Should I send Patricia a jar of that deli potato salad as a parting gift, or is my silence the best revenge? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because trust me, my dating life is getting spicy again.